So if you wanted any argument against the kind of inherent evilness of this practice, you have it right there. The fact of the matter is, Twitch didn't pay anybody anything for being on this platform until they had to. Let's talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, which is this issue of Twitch exclusivity. So I guess there's nothing to be done about this topic, really. But like in the sense of like a problem that we can fix. But I want to make more people aware of it because it's one of the bigger issues on Twitch that I think doesn't get talked about enough. So at the very least, I think this could be like a pretty productive video, and we could make some progress here. So there's also like a lot of like really interesting things in this that a lot of people don't know in this talk. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. So when I'm gonna talk about Twitch exclusivity, is the subject today. So Twitch exclusivity, let's explain it first. So there are major streaming platforms, right? We'll say they're Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, and YouTube. As of right now, officially, for all partners and affiliates on Twitch, the official rule is you can't upload any content to any other website within 24 hours of its production on Twitch. And you exclusively stream to Twitch, and you can't stream anywhere else. So this first thing means that if I make this a video tomorrow and I upload it, that's technically against the terms of service, and it can be banned. So before I get into this topic, I think I need to actually the problem is this isn't clearly outlined in the partner contracts, and some contracts are different. So let's check what it actually says for affiliates. So the Twitch affiliate agreement is, for any live or audio visual work you do, your live content starting from the beginning of the initial broadcast or any such live content and continuing for a period of 24 hours, live content is exclusive to Twitch. You will not permit any third party to broadcast, stream, distribute it, or otherwise make available any live content in this manner. Notwithstanding the foregoing, you have the right to make any live content available during the exclusivity program solely via Twitch services. So right there, affiliates are also basically saying that you can only broadcast or stream live exclusively to Twitch. After the exclusive period or any live content, the license to such will become non-exclusive. You have a right to broadcast, stream, and distribute, exhibit, and otherwise make available. So my understanding of like what this means is, I guess this has never really been tested. It's objectively bad if you multi-stream, which is where all the value is for affiliates. You can't do that. So that's against the affiliate agreement. You can't multi-stream, so I can't stream to Mixer and Twitch at the same time as an affiliate. But what I can do is I can go to 24 hours later and stream on Mixer. But on Twitch, I can't even do that. Okay, and so like the whole subject here is why I want to talk about that. Because multi-streaming is actually one of the most powerful forms of marketing that you can do. So, and Twitch limiting this is a really big factor as to why Twitch has the market share it does and why they've been able to hold on to that market share is this exclusivity for partners and affiliates. So now that we've like established like what the rules are, we can kind of discuss that. Like, interestingly, on all other platforms, out of all of them, Twitch is the only people that do this for all their partners. Facebook, actually, for most Facebook partners, allows you to multi-stream. YouTube doesn't have like an official stance on it, but doesn't like really care. And Mixer also doesn't have like a really official stance. Twitch is the exception would be for all of their bigger content creators. So obviously people like Ninja and Shroud, those people are on separate contracts. But I'm talking for the vast majority of us, just partners and affiliates that are on these platforms. This affects them. So the reason why this is important is because if you wanted to stream to, let's say, like Twitch and YouTube and Mixer at the same time, you actually get a lot of benefits to this, to do this, right? So the first benefit you get is you have 3x the discovery and audience, and that's really powerful. The second thing you have is you have 3x the potential brand power and staying power if one platform fails. And also 3x different opportunities for your brand to resonate with separate demographics and cultures. So there are programs like Restream.io, which I think is the most common one. And what this does is it allows you to broadcast to 30 different websites at once for a pretty low price. So doing this is objectively good. Like, there's no streamer that would not want to do this because doing this allows you. It basically takes no extra work, but gets you exposed to a bunch of other communities. And there's a lot of people who are not succeeding on Mixer that would maybe succeed on YouTube, and a lot of people on YouTube that are not succeeding on YouTube that might succeed on Twitch, and a lot of people on Twitch that might succeed on Mixer or YouTube, right? So what Twitch is doing by holding people to exclusivity, in my personal, non-attorney, non-legal opinion, is illegal, I think. I think if this were actually challenged in court, I don't think you could hold people to exclusivity for content if they're not employees of your organization. And from everything that I know, based on dealing with this problem in esports, which was around exclusivity of players, which is very similar. They're both talent, and both have. We figured out that if that really went to court, and this is one of the reasons why Tfue versus FaZe was very interesting, right? Was because one of the things that Tfue was sought to do was try to make it non-exclusive for players to belong in esports teams, and to be classified as legitimate talent like you have to be in sports. I don't think a state like California, where Twitch does business, would hold this up. But again, I want to make, for purposes of this talk, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a legal counsel. This is my own personal opinion. I've worked in the industry with talent. I currently do. I don't have a lawyer's opinion on this. There are far more intelligent people that you can go off of to get this take. But the problem is that nobody individually or even as a group can ever challenge Amazon to any kind of class action or any kind of call out on this, because Amazon's and Twitch's resources are so vast on this issue. So I think that the exclusivity doesn't hold up for me because we are not employees of Twitch, especially as an affiliate. And so to get that likeness and that exclusivity via a blanket agreement for no monetary compensation besides the right to use the platform, which has monetary compensation on it, but in and of itself, you're not getting paid or anything or have any kind of deliverables or exchange for that, I think feels probably unenforceable. But the problem is that it's never going to be able to be enforced because nobody's going to challenge it. So exclusivity is something that people like California really, really don't like because especially with people that are independent contractors, ICs, or people that are affiliated in some way, because exclusivity is an extremely powerful thing. In legal terms, there's a thing called a likeness clause, okay? And a likeness kind of just means like who you are, your personality, your brand, your ability to represent yourself. If you guys have ever seen like Shroud on like Monster, wasn't he? On Monster energy drinks. Was it this where he was? And or who was the gamer that was on the Monster energy drink? Or this is I'm sorry, I was thinking Madrinas. So here you go. So anything like this, where it's Shroud on like a Madrinas coffee, requires an agreement between the broadcaster and the company to give away what's called your likeness clause. So your likeness clause for individual influencers or talent, actually, I think this is, if I provide you any value and you're an influencer considering being, if you're anybody, if you're working a job, whatever, your likeness and your personality and your, the ability for you to be featured somewhere or shown somewhere or images of you is the most valuable leveraging tool that you usually have in a negotiation. So there are different ways to define likeness in legal terms. You can define it in perpetuity, which means forever. This is the most extreme example of that. And you have a lot of instances of players signing this away to organizations without any kind of compensation. And you have it for fixed amounts of time and to varying degrees. Only audio, only face, etc. So celebrities sell their likeness for things for tens of millions of dollars, right? I mean, it's just insanely valuable. People that, when I was criticizing the phase contracts, one of the reasons why I was like so ass pained about the phase contracts was because phase literally had a clause in there that said, we own your likeness in perpetuity forever across all times, dimensions, and universes and galaxies. Like it literally accommodated for space travel. Like when we invent space, when we have like other planets we live on, like we still own you there. Like it was that ridiculous. This is not like a meme. It literally said that. So so likeness is extremely powerful. And for Twitch, owning this kind of exclusivity is really powerful because they not only have the ability to use any partner or affiliate. So if you ever go to, like, we can probably do it now, but if we go to Twitch's Twitter, right, they'll have some compilation of somebody doing they'll usually have some like compilation of like this, where you have a bunch of streamers, right, that they can feature for their social media and stuff. So you'll see like random streamers featured here. So ostensibly this looks pretty cool. It's like, oh good, Twitch is like featuring its content creators, but they're not actually giving the content creators anything for this. They're not paying anything for this. They already own it. So they just take it. If you're on their platform, they just own your content. And no matter how big you are, right, you can get, I've even been on the Twitch Instagram page for one clip I had on Subnautica actually. And so like all these streamers, right, they're not getting anything in compensation for that. They're just being featured. And the argument might be, well, Devin, like they're being featured, they're getting earned media, right? That's really cool. But what I want you to understand is that in every other industry, this would be compensated. In every other industry, like if, let's say that this was not Twitch, but this was Razer that was featuring this person, there would have been some agreement. There would have been some kind of transaction. There would have been some kind of monetary value that's associated with that. If you want somebody to feature a product or service on Razer, you would have some kind of deal associated with that. So, and the fact of the matter also is that this doesn't really earn people follows, right? Like this is basically just for Twitch to market their platform. Now I'm not saying that every single person should be compensated or whatever, or I'm not like trying to make that argument. I'm just trying to show you the problem here, which is that, basically Twitch is taking something that is extremely valuable and is also exponentially valuable, right? It's more valuable the bigger you get. And they're just taking it with no argument and no compensation and no way to stop it. Like your literal only answer is to not stream on Twitch. That's all you can do. So the exclusivity thing is a problem for two reasons. It's a problem not only because you are not allowed to multi-stream to other platforms, and for partners, this is a problem because for partners, imagine if you're banned on Twitch. Well, like if you're banned on Twitch and your entire brand is there, all of your following, your notifications, everything, you lose everything, right? Like you're just done. And it's to me, it's extremely unethical of Twitch to hold partners to exclusivity and then simultaneously be willing to like completely, like there's no suspensions. It's just your account is gone. Everything that you had is gone. All of your notifications, all of your followers, all of your subscribers, everything is gone. So to ban somebody on Twitch and then expect them to exclusivity, that you're guaranteeing that their career is single-handedly on Twitch. But if they had ability to stream to Mixer and YouTube and Facebook all that time, at least they could be like, well, I also have followers on Facebook. I have followers on YouTube. I have people there. I can continue my brand. So this is one of the reasons why I recommend to small business people or influencers or anybody really that like it's the literal don't put all of your eggs in one basket, because if one person can shut you down like that, that's so dangerous, right? Like you really want to think about having multiple income sources and ways that you build your brand, because it's just so dangerous. Whereas like if you were able to stream to multiple platforms, you wouldn't have this happen. And for affiliates, the problem is that it reduces growth, right? Because it's objectively better for an affiliate to get discovered through multiple different platforms. They have a much higher chance of being discovered simultaneously on Mixer, YouTube, Facebook at the same time as they do on Twitch. And so to hold somebody to exclusivity for affiliates also feels bad because it makes it so much harder to grow. Then when you finally do have the opportunity to have a partner, your entire brand is in Twitch. So Twitch is creating this ecosystem of farming talent where they literally grow you to the point of like your maximum, and then they can just ban you and you completely and you're completely gone and there's nothing you can do. And this kind of thing bothers me a lot when I think about it, because it seems to me like it's like almost like a farm, right? Like they start you off very young. You have 1 to 5 viewers, then they bring you in as an affiliate, which is extremely easy to do. You're limited in growth purposefully, that your only channel is to grow on Twitch, basically. Now you can do third-party media, but you're not encouraged to do that by anybody at Twitch. There's no education that teaches you to do that, right? Literally, the only show on Twitch that actually talks about any kind of legitimate marketing is my show. I'm the only person that does it. So like, me telling you to go make YouTube videos, right? You'll never see that in any of the resources that Twitch offers. Creator Camp, and for that fact matter, we could get into this whole other subject, which is probably something that I should probably talk about at some point, is that Twitch's educational system is abysmal for streamers, right? The only thing that actually exists is something that most of you probably haven't ever heard of. It's called Creator Camp for Twitch, and we could do a whole nother separate talk on how bad this is and how completely ineffective it is to teach influencers how to grow. So as an affiliate, you basically get brought in immediately with 1 to 5 viewers. You're taught that Twitch is going to be the place where you can grow. You'll find out very quickly that you can't grow on Twitch, but one way to grow might be to actually 4 or 5x your broadcasts so that you're on 4 or 5 different platforms at once so that you can build a following. But there's no way to do that because Twitch then limits you to exclusivity. But let's say that you actually succeed somehow and you progress through affiliate to partner. Well, now your entire brand has been on Twitch because that's all you've actually done is build a following there for that entire period of time. So now if you get banned on Twitch, you're completely hosed because you've been in that funnel the entire time and you haven't been able to put your brand anywhere else. So Twitch creates this system where they make people completely reliant on them, but then they have an entirely draconian way of limiting people. If you do end up getting banned, you do end up getting restricted from the platform. We've given talks about Twitch's ban system. In my opinion, most of Twitch's ban system is fair, but this still creates an ecosystem that can be profoundly negative for the people involved in it because of the way that it's set up from the ground floor. Okay. So, all that said, why is Twitch doing this? Well, Twitch has an enormous incentive to do this because what happens if Twitch streamers start broadcasting simultaneously on Mixer and on Twitch, and then they start growing more successful communities on Mixer? That's going to look really bad. Also, Twitch's market share disappears and evaporates overnight if they lose exclusivity because people can stream to multiple different platforms. Anybody that's like sane would do this. It costs no extra resources on the hand of the streamer. So third, you're starting to see, especially in the last couple of days with Lyric and Dr. Lupo and Tim the Tatman, that Twitch is actually now having to pay for this exclusivity. So if you wanted any argument against the kind of inherent evilness of this practice, you have it right there. The fact of the matter is, Twitch didn't pay anybody anything for being on this platform until they had to. When Mixer and Facebook and YouTube started getting talent, now all of a sudden you see Lyric and Tim the Tatman and Dr. Lupo getting cash deals. But this is a big problem, right? Because what about all the other partners? So the only way that you get a cash deal or any kind of recompensation from Twitch is if you're big enough and if you're threatening enough and you can actually fight them on the exclusivity. And that's what these other streamers did. And some of them moved, right? Like Shroud of Ninjas outright moved because the deals were better and because Twitch didn't have a system in place to pay for these people yet. They weren't ready. So now Twitch is giving some of its content creators millions of dollars and then simultaneously not giving its other content creators who are just as large nothing because they know they don't have leverage to move yet. So what's happening is top content creators can either negotiate for paid contracts if they have the leverage to say that they're going to be able to go to Mixer or Facebook or whatever, or they're screwed. And now Twitch is playing favorites with paid contracts and is paying for the same exclusivity that they literally and deliberately took from every partner and affiliate for the last 8 years. and so like having an idea of how kind of just like think about it, you step back and really think about that. That's pretty busted, I think. So I don't know, like if we get into like the ethics of it, I don't necessarily know that as CEO of Twitch that I would do anything different from this, right? It's a very effective marketing strategy. It gets you a lot of market share quickly and allows you to hold on to it. But I think that driving awareness to this issue would be productive, because I think this is, out of all the things that Twitch does, I think this is probably the worst for partners and affiliates, and the most egregious, at least, because like it affects on the Twitch ban system, right? Very few partners are ever going to be affected by bans. They're probably never going to have a case where they're affected by a ban, statistically. But every single partner is affected by this. And yet we talk about it a lot less. Every single partner and affiliate on the platform is affected by this. And you're affected as a consumer because you don't actually get to choose where you go for your content. Like, you have to be here. And so luckily, Twitch has made a pretty good platform for now. But if you look at like something like Facebook, where like the main criticisms are like of the UI and such, and like if Facebook exclusively drove a streamer there, then like people would be upset if they have to use that platform. So more options are always better than less for consumers. Twitch has kind of effectively, in my opinion, created a monopoly with this, and it's something that I don't think is going to change, but just it is pretty unfortunate. So I think Twitch will never. We could talk about like what's going to happen, and that's why, like, for this talk, I've basically just set this up to be a awareness talk, because I don't think that anything's going to actually change. Twitch will not willingly drop this exclusivity, and we're going to enter a really weird ecosystem in the next couple of months where some people are getting paid. Like, isn't it kind of weird that it's like you take two streamers, both have around 11,000 subs and 15,000 concurrent viewers, but one is streaming on Twitch for free, and one is streaming for Twitch under an exclusivity contract worth $1+ million a year. That's the situation we're about to enter into. That's what just happened with Tim the Tatman, Lyric, and Lupo. They got cash contracts, but they're not they're not even the biggest streamers. So like, it's so weird, because like, where's XQC's contract? Where's Tyler One, right? Where's Yogscast, Asmongold, Co-Carnage? Some of these people may have cash deals, but not all of them do. And like, where's Crip, right? Like, and for that matter, like, where are the people way at the bottom? Like, where's the people that, like, where do you draw the line? Why do some people get preferential treatment and others don't? If you take let's talk about top 200 broadcasters, talk about top 500 broadcasters, right? Like, at what point do you like, there's an enormous inconsistency here. There's going to be some people that are providing the exact same value to Twitch that are getting paid, and some people that are not. And exclusivity deals apply across the board to every partner and affiliate, but someone like me who gets, I don't know, anywhere between like half to 1,000 viewers is never going to get offered an exclusivity contract, right? But I'm bound to the same rules. So I just don't like. I just don't think it's. I just think there's a lot of problems with the system, and I know that Twitch is not going to fix it, but that's why I'm bringing this to people's attention. And I guess there's nothing else to do, like because there's nothing we can do, but talk about it. But I think it's an important issue to consider. The only fix that's reasonable is enough people actually get together and see if this is enforceable. But it's just never going to happen. Facebook, for example, like, doesn't really hold anyone except its largest people that they pay to exclusivity. So if you like if that kind of platform took market share, then you could get a situation where Facebook was like the leading platform and nobody had this problem. So yeah, I guess it's just like my duty here was to explain this. Unfortunately, we can't actually do anything about it. So for people that are multi-streaming, there are people that are saying in chat, you can multi-stream if you aren't an affiliate. You sure can, but then realize the transaction there is Twitch saying, hey, you can't use the features of our website, like subs and bits and whatever, or subs or what's the other one? Basically subs and like I think bits or whatever. You can't use those features of our website unless you're willing to do exclusivity. And that's not how like a transaction works, right? Like if I have something of value, then you have to give me something of value back for it. So I guess my entire argument with this sort of Twitch exclusivity thing is that they're basically taking an enormous amount of value from us for nothing, right? They get nothing. We get nothing in return. Having like subscribers are a thing that should be on a platform anyway, and you shouldn't lock features behind a paywall so that you can force people into an exclusive contract with you. I think that's pretty messed up. I understand the business reason for doing it, but I just wanted to create awareness towards this happening because a lot of the problems that we have with Twitch right now would go away if we were allowed to do like restricting content to a platform. Let's like a corollary to this would be like, what if you could only post your YouTube videos on YouTube? The only reason why people don't see this as a problem is because YouTube owns like 90% of the market. But if a lot of people watch videos on Facebook, a lot of people watch videos on Instagram, what if YouTube said, hey, you guys can't actually post anything that is on YouTube, even clips of it on any other platform. We only want it to be on YouTube. And then they started DMCAing people for content that they created on other places. That would be really messed up. That's the equivalent here. If I multi-stream on Twitch, I get banned on Twitch as a partner. If I multi-stream to Mixer tomorrow, I get banned on Twitch. So they're literally willing to enforce exclusivity, right? And I'm not giving them anything in value for that. I'm trading my likeness only for the right to be here on a supposedly free platform. That's not fair. And we already discussed like what the problems are with it with affiliates and how like affiliates are basically funneled into one channel because you can grow as an affiliate in one direction, and then you are only as an affiliate streaming on this platform. Then once you've grown into a partner status, well, now you're completely on the Twitch platform and you can't go anywhere else. So that's just my thoughts on this subject. I don't, again, unfortunately, I don't think there's anything to like do. It's just like, it's probably going to be a problem for years to come as long as Twitch has significant market share. It's just what it is. I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk about it. I guess I want to provide like some kind of value. So the solution here, if you're a content creator, is to diversify your platforms, right? So if you're an influencer, the number one thing you should be doing is not living on a single platform. This is incredibly dangerous to live on a single platform because your potential, whether it be YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or wherever, your entire livelihood is dependent on that platform's. Right now, in the current climate, companies and their enforcement policies are sole judge, jury, and executioner. So I don't think that it's worth becoming an affiliate for most people that are just starting out. And most people should diversify across multiple platforms. The other option is that individual broadcasters and influencers could possibly negotiate with Twitch on these exclusivity clauses. But that would only be like really big people. It'd still affect the vast majority of partners and affiliates. But you'd have to have negotiating power to make any kind of difference in that. But the default contracts come with it. So like pretty much everybody on the platform, except for like a very few people, either on like really old contracts or people that have some kind of like unique thing, they're going to be affected by this. I kind of want, I guess like the thing I would think about, or the thing that I would hope for is I'd really like more platforms to become more successful, because if Mixer and Facebook and YouTube actually got significant market share, they could then eventually Twitch would have to get pressured into doing this. Like they'd have to get pressured into lowering exclusivity clauses. So basically like more competition and more